Alright, let's dive into something that's been bugging me lately: private pensions. Now, I know what you're thinking: pensions? Really? But stick with me, because this isn't just about retirement funds. It's about a system that, in my opinion, has become a subsidized gift to the wealthy, and it's time we talk about why that matters. Here's the thing: private pensions are sold as this universal savior for old age, but the reality is, they're a privilege for the few and a curse for the many. And what's worse? The state is actually subsidizing this inequality. Let me explain. First off, let's talk about the tax breaks. Did you know that higher-rate taxpayers get a 40% tax break on their pension savings, while everyone else gets just 20%? That's right. The system is literally designed to benefit the wealthy more. And here's where it gets crazy. According to official figures, the cost of income tax relief on pensions jumped from £48 billion in 2022 to 23 to £60 billion in 2024 to 25. That's a 25% increase in just 2 years. And guess who's swallowing up the majority of that? Higher-rate taxpayers. What this really suggests is that the state is essentially funding the retirement of the rich while leaving everyone else to fend for themselves. Personally, I think this is a massive oversight, one that's widening the wealth gap and creating resentment between generations. Now, let's talk about the concept of retirement itself. Retirement used to be a safety net for when people were too old or too ill to work. But today? It's turned into this decades-long vacation for the affluent. Think about it: people are retiring in their early 60s, expecting to live into their 80s or even 90s, and planning for multiple holidays a year. Meanwhile, the average worker is struggling to save enough to retire at all. What many people don't realize is that this shift in retirement expectations is driving a wedge between generations. Younger workers are being told to save more, work longer, and expect less, while older generations are enjoying the fruits of a system that's increasingly unsustainable. Here's a detail I find fascinating: during the industrial disputes of the 2010s, almost every strike was about defending the pensions of older workers. Shop stewards, mostly over 50, were negotiating deals with managers in the same age bracket to secure gold-plated defined benefit pensions for themselves, while younger workers were left with risky, stock market-dependent schemes. Fast forward to today, and those older workers have retired with their guaranteed pensions, leaving the rest of us to deal with the fallout. If you take a step back and think about it, this isn't just unfair, it's economically damaging. We're losing experienced workers who could still contribute, all because they've been incentivized to retire early and live off their pensions. What makes this really interesting is how public sector workers are now the biggest winners in this system. They're retiring at 60 with pensions that will last another 35 years, all while believing that the economics of this setup is someone else's problem. But here's the thing: it's not just their problem, it's ours. The state pension system is fading into insignificance for many, and private pensions are becoming the only game in town. But with 40% of the pension pot for higher earners coming from taxpayer subsidies, it's clear that the system is rigged. In my opinion, this raises a deeper question: why are we subsidizing the wealthy's retirement at the expense of everyone else? Personally, I think policymakers like John Healey need to rethink the tax breaks on pension savings. Equalizing the subsidy would be a start. But it's not just about the money, it's about redefining what retirement means in the 21st century. Should it really be a 35-year holiday for the affluent, or should it be about ensuring dignity and security for everyone? What this really suggests is that we need a fundamental shift in how we think about aging, work, and wealth distribution. Otherwise, we're just perpetuating a system that benefits the few at the expense of the many. So, here's my closing thought: if we don't address this now, we're not just failing younger generations, we're failing ourselves. What do you think? Is the current pension system fair, or is it time for a change? Let me know in the comments below.